Tiny House Warriors is a mission. It's a mission to stop the Kinder Morgan pipeline by building tiny houses on wheels to deploy and launch and stop and block the construction of this pipeline going through our lands. And our territory is 180,000 square kilometers, 518 kilometers. Over half of this pipeline proposes to go through our territories. And in a creative form of resistance, this is what we chose to do, was to build 10 tiny houses and deploy them against this massive oil company and stop them from destroying and threatening our lands.
Yeah, I mean, it's a collective of Secwepemc people, and I feel like being a neighboring nation is that they're fighting for all of us. On one hand, it's for and by Secwepemc women and Secwepemc Women Warrior Society for all Secwepemc people. It's just a small part of a hoop of Indigenous resistance, and we're fighting together, upstream, downstream, and worldwide. It's for the worldwide Indigenous resistance against major companies.
Yo, fuck Kinder Morgan, here's a Kinder surprise. Indigenous resistance, man, we got 9 lives. We put a life on the line, not a lifeline. I'll be damned if I see another broken pipeline.
Kinder Morgan is a thief.
Kinder Morgan is a Texas-based oil transportation company, and this company right now has made a business transaction with the government of Canada to purchase the Trans Mountain Pipeline for $4.5 billion. It's a Texas oil transportation company, and what we're opposed to is the Trans Mountain Pipeline that proposes to transport this bitumen through pipeline from the Alberta tar sands all the way to the Salish Sea, so a 1,142 kilometer pipeline. And it's cut for the new corridor. This is it. This is the corridor they want. So they just did the first initial clear cut, but and they probably didn't get permits for like, they say it's sustainable by just leaving those little bit of cedar stands there. So that's how they could clear cut that, and just, it's so gross. And then this is still the continuation of the cut.
Are they gonna split it in half?
And then this is the existing one that's in there right now, the old 1953 pipeline.
You can see from the plants that the ones that are dead or died, they've got black ink over them.
Yeah, just right here across the road is an area that's marked out for the Trans Mountain Kinder Morgan man camp. This man camp here in Blue River, unceded Secwepemc Territory, is plotted for 1,000-man man camp, 1,000 construction workers that they'll want to house here. And these man camps are linked to, increased violence against women, sexual attacks, on our women. And as Indigenous women here in the country of Canada, we are, the most targeted. We have tens of thousands of Indigenous women and girls that are on databases compiled by our own people, keeping track of all of the murdered and missing Indigenous women. And the majority of them are never solved. And we're losing them to a system that doesn't care and disappears them without a trace. And this is the reality that we as Indigenous women live with, where other white Canadians could go around in this country called Canada and be safe and have the privilege to be able to walk the streets safe, you know, and Indigenous people and women are targeted. Not just our girls and women, but also our boys and men too. And this is very serious when Kinder Morgan, and now owned by Canada, is saying they want to bring in 1,000 men that are known, you know, to increase, you know, the risk to our women.
We want to shut this man camp down because all man camps have ever brought to our communities is abuse and more alcoholism and more drug use, and rapes have increased significantly, and our women have been going missing at alarming rates, and that is one of the main reasons why we're here right now, is to make sure that this man camp has never built, and that the structures that they've started building are dismantled, because we're not going to allow the man camps to go through and be built here. They're not welcome here, and they never will be.
Someone sends this as a comment. That's a good one. Someone should have made a pound of. Okay, that was a lot of comments on that one, and I think I know why. Cause look, Crown land is a figment of your imagination, Justin Trudeau. This here land we are stopping your pipeline in is unceded Secwepemc Territory. No consent to pass this pipeline through our unceded lands. That includes Kinder Morgan and Rachel Notley too. So when you comment, it's commenting to them too.
Oh.
Yeah, social media, and definitely any type of media at this point is definitely something that we use in our favor, and is definitely a weapon, and is also our safety, you know, and that's why it's so important that we have younger people, or just anyone in general, should know how to hold a phone, know how to live stream, know what to say, you know, and be able to document these things. And because it's safety, we want to make sure we're all safe, and it's such a powerful platform because it not only engages, you know, the outside world, but it engages in smaller communities and rural communities, and you know, places where there's little towns and like little reserves that don't get to see a lot of this besides what they see on TV. They get to see it through social media, and they get to be able to start to understand that, and it's a great way to educate people. It's a great way to engage our young people.
Hello everybody, we need you to share this live feed. This is a special live feed. I'm coming here and I'm live with a Mohawk woman. Her name is Pam Hill, and she comes from Six Nations, and she's reaching out for help. We're dealing with tens of thousands of our Indigenous children right now being kidnapped and held captive by Child Family Services, CFS, in the Canadian state. And this is one story, and it touches my heart. And I hope you take the time to listen and share this live feed and see if we can help this beautiful woman that has come to our tiny house warrior village to reach out for help.
Hi. Sorry. It's home with my daughter. She was stolen from me in 2010. She went to school and never came home. They made her Crown Ward on December 12, 2012. I'm not a drinker. I'm not a smoker. Don't do drugs. I was living by myself, and they told me I was a good parent. She was a straight A student, well-mannered, behaved child. And I miss her very much. And now they're telling me that she doesn't want to have any communication with me. I went to my band, I went to MLAs, I went to lawyers, and nobody's willing to take part and help in returning her home to me. I tried everything to get her home. Sorry. It just hurts. It's been 8 long years since I got to hug her or hold her or anything, talk to her. I'm hoping that this will reach her and she knows how much I miss her. Thank you. Thanks. Most of the times I can talk without trying, but sometimes it just hits, so long that it's 8 years, it's like she's Christmas or birthdays or teaching her how to do anything or be part of her life, right? So it's hit hard that the government doesn't seem to care. They don't care what the kids grow up to be or what they are doing to each other. You know what I mean? Like, the government is just, it's money, right? People are making good money off of our kids being gone, They don't care what happens to the kids once they get out of care.
There's more children in care than at the height of residential school. So right now there's more Indigenous children that have been displaced and stolen from their homes and their communities and their culture and put in non-Indigenous homes and are being assimilated the same way that our relatives did when they were put in residential school. And that's what's happening. And you can try to slice it anyway and try to say, like, well, this and that, but no, really, that's what's happening.
We as Secwepemc, Statlium, Encampments, Secwepemc, all over BC, we all know well the tactics of the Canadian state stealing our children unlawfully, and they don't have any jurisdiction to even come into our lands and take our children, yet they still do it, and that's kidnapping. So our heart goes out to her as mothers. To have your child stolen away is the worst kind of pain. Oh, the cops are here. Baba, could you go in the tiny house, please? We know that they will use brutality against women, children, and elders in order to protect industry. And we also know that they are who is used when they come to apprehend our children. So that's how it's all tied together, is that they're like a goon squad that protects the Canadian laws that are fraudulent and man-made and are made to assimilate and destroy our people. So we also don't acknowledge the authority that they claim to have. They need to start to listen to us.
And this is actually with, being on wheels, being able to be mobile, because we know the state has come at us with injunctions and trespass notices, seizure notice, everything to get us off of our own territory and displace us again from our territories and our lands. And being able to be mobile and being able to, stay out of their system. They want us to get caught up in their courts. They want us to get caught up in years and years of probation and court charges and fines and jail time and all of that. And they never will recognize our title there, because we're defending ourselves against criminal charges. And they're the judge and jury and everything. And it's proven again and again that they've been finding us guilty of criminal contempt by not following injunctions like what they have right here.
The rivers that flow from these glaciers pass through our territories, and we just want to send a message that we are forever grateful for everybody who takes a stand against the destruction of our lands, because the destruction of our lands equals depletion of our food sources. It means that our trees are torn down, the rivers are poisoned, the berries, the herbs and medicines are depleted because of the intrusion and invasion and desecration of our homelands, and it affects us all. The resistance is in our blood. We never ever gave up on our land, even if it meant giving everything we have to this movement. That's what it takes, because without our land, we can no longer be Uqamiuq. And what Uqamiuq means is people of the land. And that's what we call ourselves, Uqamiuq. Thank you for listening, and thank you for sharing this message. And thank you for passing it on, because it's really important that people know that we are still here and we're not going to go anywhere, and that we've never given up on our land. We love our land. It's who we are. We believe that we are part of the land, and the land is part of us, and we are one and the same. So when the land dies, we die as a people, and we will never ever give up that fight. Jim, thank you.
I'm just living out this life I was given on my homeland. Hear me laugh, hear me cry, see me smile, see me frown on my homeland. That's my homeland. I know it like the back of my hand. It's my homeland. Cause everything I'm not made me everything I am on my